Hello and welcome to another art house movie review. This time I'm reviewing the documentary Jiro Dreams of Sushi, directed by David Gelb. Now this kept coming up as a recommendation for me on streaming services, and I also noticed that it's in a lot of lists of the top 10 business inspiration films to watch. So it's been on my list for quite a while, and finally I got round to watching it. So I see that David Gelb specialises in making films about food and cuisine, and this includes making a lot of TV programmes about food. And indeed, this documentary very much focuses on the sushi, on the chef, and the tiny restaurant in Japan that Jiro owns. It's really competently done, and there's a lot of close camera work with the sushi, and it looks amazing. And we really see Jiro's craft. He's an absolute perfectionist, and he really has the sensitivity of an artist, and he takes it to really extreme levels to produce the very best sushi. I did actually find the documentary quite interesting, and there were things I really liked, like I enjoyed the debate about cooking rice and the level of detail and passion they have for this, and I loved the clips from the tuna auction, which in fact was really musical, really interesting from a sound perspective. It really is a kind of perfectly executed food restaurant documentary. But as you can probably tell by my tone, it's not something I was wholly subscribing to. I think the documentary provokes issues which are just not addressed at all. For example, Jiro is really presented as inspirational, as someone to be admired, and I guess that's why it's in all these top 10 business video suggestions. But actually, this guy has dedicated every hour of his life to this task of perfecting the creation of this amazing sushi, and there's no questioning around the level of obsession and around the sacrifices in terms of neglect of his family. It's not like it's hidden, it is discussed, but it's just not really addressed with a seriousness or a kind of incisiveness that really probes the issues around him. Also, and this is quite a personal point I think, because I do kind of have a sensitivity towards every living thing, and the way we see the fish treated in this documentary is literally just as a commodity for human pleasure. And so for a vegan or a vegetarian, this documentary is possibly really upsetting. And again, I kind of felt like it was provoking issues that it just never even tried to discuss. Now, I would like to be vegan, and I haven't achieved this yet, and in that way I'm a hypocrite. So I definitely can't be critical of others. But whether you make the decision to eat living things or not, I do think that there are interesting issues in terms of respect for the living creatures, and in this I just felt there was no respect at all. I actually found it quite uncomfortable the way these sea creatures are treated. I know this is a very personal view and many people may disagree with me, but this was just my feeling as I watched this documentary. At one point they do mention sustainability in terms of fish and seafood, but this is mentioned almost as a criticism of the proliferation of sushi restaurants in Japan is causing overfishing, but that we're all right because we're the best. It did kind of feel like there was a slight arrogance in this. Overall, this is a perfectly good food documentary. It is quite inspiring in terms of being determined to achieve the very best that you can. It's very easy to watch, but it really lacked depth or incisiveness in terms of some of the issues as a documentary. Thanks for watching. See you next time.